On their train car, Billy tells Sally it's nice to see her back, he was getting worried. She was just clearing her head and reminds him she couldn't go anywhere with the road and tracks out. She sarcastically asks if he's snagged a deal with Kane for Chancellor. Billy has to fix things with her first. She notices he's set up a private dinner for them away from the group, and reluctantly agrees to sit down. Billy triumphantly declares that he found her French fries with hot sauce. Sally snips that the distraction thing won't work. It's obvious that he's not willing to hand her Abbott Communications if he takes over Chancellor Industries. She doesn't have a plan B, this is it. Chancellor is consuming his every thought, so where does that leave Abbott Communications? Billy can't get a word in edgewise as she makes her pitch again. He insists he trusts her. She snaps, the way you trusted Phyllis. Billy asks her to look under the dessert plate. There's a folded paper with her name on it. Sally opens it and reads. Billy rambles that he was going to send it to her by phone but there's no internet. It's an agreement saying she'll be in charge of Abbott Communications if he takes over Chancellor. She notes he didn't sign it. Billy wanted to be sure she was good with everything on her. She sniffs, you really do have faith in me. Billy says that was never in doubt. He values her and trusts her with his company. A lot has to go right for him to get Chancellor back given Victor's grimy hands are still on it. Sally warns Kane has already walked away from making a grab at it. Billy's confident he and Kane can make it happen before Victor even knows what hit him. He notes that their relationship wasn't easy and his mother pitted them against each other, but Kane's initial invitation meant something. Gathering everyone together makes him think he wants an audience for when he takes down the big man. Chancellor is his dream, and I want you to have your dream. Billy and Sally toast to her in her potential position as CEO of Abbott Communications. Sally thinks his new company was just a distraction. A way to not think about Chancellor. Billy admits Kane's call put a wrench in that plan. He realized he wasn't over losing it or how it happened. Sally muses, you want revenge. Billy wants what is his. If Victor goes down in the process, well, then c'est la vie. He tells Sally it would be a hell of a story if it happens. It would put Abbott Communications on the map to publish Victor being gutted like a fish. Sally worries about Billy's thirst for revenge. He's looking ahead and only sees good things. He signs the paper he gave Sally. Starting with this, she signs it too and then writes, I love you, on his hand. Billy thanks her for being his partner and they kiss. Kane meets with Holden. In Genoa City, Kane walks into the coffee house and Holden appears. He muses about the mysterious Aristotle Dumas requesting a meeting in public. Kane's impressed by the work he's done with him privately. He assumes he's kept it under the radar. Holden assures him no one suspects a thing. Holden's curious why he's there instead of in France. Kane wanted to check in on him and some other things he has going on in town. Holden guesses his guests have no idea he's there. He senses he's familiar with the town. Kane says more than he knows. Kane says more than he knows. So little has changed, yet so little has changed. Holden admits he's been debating staying there himself. Kane asks if he's told anyone he's working again since he fired him. Holden doesn't know that many people, but as requested, everyone thinks he's still searching. Kane tells him to call him by his real name. Dumas will soon cease to exist. Kane reveals he's coming back to Genoa City to live. Until then, he'll need Holden to be his eyes and ears on the ground. Holden's happy to be of assistance. He's thoroughly impressed by the scope of his purchases so far. Holden asks if he'll move his other companies here, and Kane warns there will be no questions about his intentions. Kane sends Holden a list of people to connect with to gain their confidence. Adam Newman, Chelsea Newman, Mariah Copeland, Claire Newman, Holden reads. He says he's already made inroads with Claire, who is a nice young woman. Kane orders him to make the connections, just don't let it track back to me. He warns him to be casual, likable and non-threatening so there's no reason for people not to take the bait. Holden smirks that making friends is something he excels in. Consider it done. Kane can see he picked the right person for the job. Holden sees the company connections with these people, but nothing other than that. Kane reminds him no questions. He won't tolerate prying, all he needs to know is that he moves strategically, every action meticulously thought out to gain the result he wants. Holden will do whatever he requires, no questions asked. Kane says good, he wants to know everything about his buddy Damien and his relationship with Lily Winters. Holden says Damien is falling for Lily hard. There's zero doubt in his mind that there's an attraction. He's never seen him fall for a woman like this, there's a whole different vibe when it comes to Lily. Kane asks if it's reciprocated. Holden couldn't tell him, but she's the reason he stayed in town and didn't leave his mother and half-brother. He wonders, why do you care? Kane says, Lily and I have history. I feel protective of her and Damien seems like a player. Holden says the way he feels about her, that seems like past tense. Kane can't take any chance that she'll be hurt. They shake hands and Kane says he'll be in touch. Once alone, he imagines dancing with Lily to the jukebox and being in each other's arms. Suddenly, Chelsea appears and asks, Kane, when did you get back in town? Figuring out Kane's agenda. In the maze, Sharon and Nick appreciate the food and wine, but complain about not being able to leave or get in touch with the kids. She doesn't want to scare Faith and is concerned about Mariah and Tessa as well. Nick warns Victoria will send in the cavalry if she doesn't hear from them. Sharon says Kane is in complete control, it's almost enough to remind her of the clinic. Nick reassures her, but agrees this is infuriating. Lily and Damien appear and agree that the situation is infuriating. Nick invites them to join them and Damien asks to get know more about them. Nick would rather hear about his history with Kane. He asks a lot of questions. Damien reveals that he reached out to the up-and-coming business tycoon who was gobbling up companies. His LA connections helped him get his attention. He saw something in him that resonated and he innately knew he could trust him. Nick points out the Kane he knows is different than the Kane they know. Lily sighs. Damien explains that he and Dumas always communicated by email. He never saw him. He was curious but there were no red flags. He was a solid boss, but as was mysterious to him as he was to the rest of the world. Lily snarks about Kane hiding behind this persona. Nick wonders why he felt he had to live a lie. Sharon remarks that he came to Genoa City with a con and seemed to reform, but maybe that was a con, maybe he's reverted to his original persona. Lily finds it hard to hear all of this talk about the man she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with, but everything they're saying is true. She's asked herself why Kane changed and how. All he's told her is that one day he'll tell her and she'll understand, but nothing could make her understand this level of deception. Sharon asks about Maddie and Charlie. Lily needs to get control of her own emotions before she talks to them. If they heard her voice they'd know something was off. Sharon understands wanting to protect her kids. Lily says it's difficult being forced to face Kane and his stupid games every day. Damien touches her hand. It's okay. Lily agrees with Victor that Kane should stay away from Genoa City. Nick wonders if he's trying to prove something, and to who. Sharon muses about them being trapped there without internet. It's making her uneasy. Nick reassures her. Lily won't leave until Kane gives her some answers. Damien's sure they'll never get a satisfactory answer. Lily needs to make sense of all of this, if for no other reason than what to tell her kids. Sharon thinks she deserves to know. Damien thinks they should focus on what Kane will do moving forward. They should be asking what Ashby is going to do now that they all know who he is. They wonder if this is all there is to it. Nick doubts it. Lily keeps going back to his alias. He must have picked Aristotle Dumas for a reason. They go over the Count of Monte Cristo, where the protagonist comes back to town for revenge. Sharon says that's not very comforting. Nick says Kane clearly has an agenda. They all need to be prepared for that. Lily warns that Devon says Kane has claimed that someone there may try to kill him. They all snicker. None of them believe that threat is real. Nick reveals that Kane went to Victor asking for Chancellor, but was turned down. Lily rants about someone being intent on messing with them. Sharon says things could be worse. Lily tells Sharon she's sorry, at least they're not at the hands of a crazed maniac. What's the worst Kane could do? Keep us trapped here long enough to steal all of our businesses in Genoa City.